Kumusta po kayo mga minamahal kong kabayan? Ako po ay si Isa Thompson, your host for this beautiful show entitled Of Threads and Beads, Culture and Traditions of the Obo Manuvu Indigenous Peoples Group. For those of you who are not familiar with the Philippines, it's an archipelago located in Southeast Asia, composed of 7,641 islands, grouped broadly into Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. We will take you to Mindanao in this show. We'll show you the beautiful beaches, first-class island resorts, but most especially the beautiful people making up the Indigenous Peoples Group spread all over Mindanao. Specifically, the Obo Manuvu Indigenous Peoples Group. On behalf of Galing Foundation, I share all this, a grand show in honor of our country and in honor of its people, from my home here in Atlanta, Georgia, to yours. But first, I'd like to propose a toast to 122 years of Philippine independence. So grab your drink. I got mine right here. For the Philippines, mabuhay ang Pilipinas. 122 years, we love you. Without further ado, since we have everything so much in store for you, I'd like to call on my fellow kababayan, artist, Mayet, to sing for us the Philippine National Anthem, Lupang Hinirang. Take it away, Mayet.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig. Di ka pa sisiil sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw. May dilag ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng luwal, hatid pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mang-aapi ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Greetings from Washington, D.C. I'm very pleased and honored to be part of this innovative cultural program that puts a spotlight on the Monobo people. It has been 122 years since the Philippines declared itself as an independent republic, the first of its kind in Asia. Since that time, our country has borne witness to global and local historical events that shape Filipino nation building. Today, the COVID-19 pandemic is unbending our way of life and making us uncertain about the future. As the Filipino people commemorate Philippine Independence Day, I challenge all of you to think about how you can help in making our nation stronger, peaceful, inclusive, and prosperous, especially at this critical juncture in human history, where even as the pandemic brings about uncertainty and fear, it also presents itself opportunities for collaboration, solidarity, and renewal. The virtual program on the cultural and traditions of the Monobo people is a great way of highlighting the role and contributions of indigenous peoples in building a united and resilient Filipino nation. I congratulate and thank Galing Foundation Incorporated for spearheading this program in collaboration with the Fernbank Museum of Natural History and the Monobo community, represented by Princess Bay Limpayan. I also would like to express my appreciation to the Fernbank Museum for providing a platform through which we can showcase the rich and diverse cultures of the Philippines. I also wish to recognize the Filipino-American community and Honorary Consul General Ray Donato in Atlanta, Georgia, for keeping the Bayanihan spirit alive, especially during this very difficult time. We appreciate your generosity and compassion towards fellow Filipinos who are negatively impacted or affected by the pandemic. With faith and optimism, the Filipino people remain strong and undaunted. I am hopeful that all of us will continue to support one another as we forge new paths to a brighter future for the Philippines, the United States, and the world. And so, maraming salamat po at mabuhay kayong lahat.
So before I would start anything, I'm given 20 minutes, right?
Oh, yes.
No, yeah. I am Jennifer P.S. Buglas, fondly called Baelim Paayon of the Monuvu tribe. Yes, Jennifer was my Christian name, but we as IPs now would want to promote our cultural heritage and our cultural integrity. That's why we use our tribal names to, let it known to the world that we are members. We are distinct and we have these names which defines us. They say, our tribal leaders would say they baptized me Limpaayon because it means Princess of Light of the Monuvu tribe. So I am the Tribal Communities Association of the Philippines spokesperson. Since my father left, my father's demise, and when there are issues that are coming up as regards to indigenous peoples, we as an IPs would have a stand and would have a voice as regards the issue. So I would always, from our end, speak for our fellow tribesmen. The indigenous peoples of the Philippines comprise 15% of the population. So like we're 15 to 16 million right now. We are 110 tribes scattered in more than 52 provinces all over the country, from the north to the south. We have different dialects, we have different traditional attires, we have different ways, cultural beliefs, but we practice the same religion. We are more of a spiritualist. We believe in this, that everything has a life, has a spirit, has a name. Just like as what the Pocahontas song, said. Who knows the colors of the wind song? That's actually who we are and what we are all about. So we still believe in that we are guided by the spirits of our ancestors. We have a God who created us, and we also have other spirits who are helping us in our daily lives. But of course, the indigenous peoples now, if you observe, we are already also mainstream, while we are very traditionally grounded. You can see like we're wearing, this mainstream clothing, but we still maintain our traditional values, which is more centered on respect. A lot of the IPs, if you see us, the Philippines is, very proud of our cultural heritage. They make us, their showcase, especially in our tourism activities, our festivals. But as you see, the indigenous peoples are not just, beautiful people. We know that obviously we are. Yeah, with all our ornaments and all our distinct and with our beautiful design.
Kay naa kadili Ako si Dr. Lamberto Delpin, National Awardee sa Tibok, Pilipinas, nga naghatag og mga mayong mga plano sa mga tribo din sa Mindanao. Nga kami importante na dunay makitaan ang among tribo nga nitibo nga naa din sa Mindanao. Salamat Bay din Sibog, ang inyong Dato Lamberto Delpin, nagapaningkamot sa pagtabang sa tanan mga lohato nimo Bay din Sibog ka. Nga mao ka na ang akong gusto. Salamat ka Bay din Sibog. Last nga ikaw naningkamot sa tanan nga ahensya nga nagki-coordinate ka ngadto kanila tungod ka importante alang ka nato kini nga dunay atong mga kabataan nga makiuban maki-coordinate ngadto sa kalain-lain ahensya sa gobyerno para mo makita ang atong tribo nga naa dinhi natago nasuksok ta di sa Mindanao. Ang Mindanao is land of promise o kining Mindanao nagkalain-lain na ang mga tao apan naningkamot ta nga kita ang mga tribo nga naa sa Mindanao magkahiusa pagkinabangay sama sa imong gibuhat by Commissioner by Jean Sibog last nga ikaw nag-isa sa usa ka tribo din sa Mindanao. Daghang salamat o ang inyong Dato Lamberto Delpin naga-approve sa imong mga plano dinhi lang kutob ug daghang salamat.
Nini po, karo kipakyab ni manok, oo, sukay naman po, kipakyab ko, nidas ka saling kakaw, pako, talaga sa pupundi, tipit ka lang. No, igda po, sikyo po mumura, iyo ko tipit ka lang. Kipakyab ko ni manok po niya ka, ikalak, lamig, oo, sukay naman po, inis ka namin ng bunga motor, sukay rin kalak ng alaw, nakakita ko ng minubo, ilabi ka lang, kasi pakita ko, i-reves Amerika. Ninikas ka namin ng bunga, sinulit ka namin ng lahat.
Last, nasikan din diyan sa Pagulo, diyan sa Central Office sa Manila, na kanami, komisyoner, na dako, idaskan nila pungan, yung pagkidlamdigi, tadat kanami na Presidente Amerika. So parang kakita na Obo Manuvu, dito pa kay Mindanao. Riso, tanuri kay tadat kaya, tanuri kay tadat pamua, so para kakita kay Mandat. Nakasuksok ida Manuvu, kahit tibok na Mindanao. Pero dakwa kanami kapaningkamot at mga dato, no, si kami kakita kay tadat intirot Manuvu, dito pa kahit Banua kahit Pilipinas. Riso kung kay kumawang ko ita sa dumaog pa ikata kaunturan na uwis na mamintanda. Uwis na manama, ikiyab ko ni Manu. So para kiyabang ko, ita sa mga
Oh, mamang, may itakrak ko. Maputin sa akin, anggam. Bro, tama ka na?
Matanda pa na tinggan.
Hola.
Greetings. Ang pangalan ko po ay Raul Donato and I'm the Philippine Honorary Consul General here in Atlanta, Georgia. I would like to extend the message in the upcoming celebration of our 122nd anniversary of our Philippine Independence Day. The history of the Philippines is to have begun with the arrival of the first humans using rafts or boats at least 67,000 years ago, as the 2000 discovery of Calauman suggested. The so-called Negrito groups were the first inhabitants, and then the groups of Austronesians later migrated to the islands. These inhabitants later on became settlements with varying degrees of political and economic specializations, including social stratifications as part of the evolutionary process. These include the predecessors of modern-day population centers such as Maynila, Tondo, Pangasinan, Cebu, Panay, Bohol, Butuan, Cotabato, Lanao, and Sulu, and in the years leading up to 1000, a number of states existed which included the Kingdom of Maynila, the Kingdom of Taytay in Palawan, the Chieftaincy of Coron Island, and the Kingdom of Tondo. Also the Sinitic Wangdom of Pangasinan and the Sultanates of Maguindanao, Lanao, and Sulu. As we fast forward, the first Philippine Republic was established on January 23, 1899 under Asia's first democratic constitution with Emilio Aguinaldo as its president. Despite its establishment, Spain and the United States had sent commissioners to Paris to draw up the terms of the Treaty of Paris to end the Spanish-American War. However, the annexation of the Philippines by the United States became inevitable, and Spain was forced in the negotiations to cede the Philippines to the United States for the sum of $20 million. The rest is history. This June 12, 2020, we celebrate our 122nd years of independence. Over the last decade or so, the Philippines became a modern and bustling society. The population of more than 100 million people are getting better education and a much better standard of living. I believe that the basis of these modern fundamentals were delivered from the original tribes that first inhabited our islands as the cornerstone of our democracy and freedom. Today, I would like to honor an indigenous tribe called the Manobo group or the Obo Manuvu indigenous elders, which are several people groups who inhabit the island of Mindanao. Their origins can be traced back, accordingly, to the early Malay peoples who came from the surrounding islands of Southeast Asia. The wonderful people of Manobo was first introduced to me by the Galing Foundation of Georgia. Princess Bay Limpayan and Datu Ramil Lipatuan visited Atlanta in May of 2019. I was honored, deeply honored, to meet them and was impressed and pleasantly educated by the tribe's history and preservation of the Manobo people in their culture and lifestyle. The term comes from a combination of Mansuba, meaning people and river. Man is man and Suba is river. Their early settlements always were near a river where they could utilize in order to produce their food and well-being. This tribe is basically an offshoot of our civilized society today, where law and order and education were already established. Our Filipino community in Atlanta are honored today to be the host through Galing Foundation, founded by Miss Tony Daya Lutgers and her board of directors, consisting of the personal collection and other precious items and artifacts on loan to the Fernbank Museum in Atlanta by Princess Bay Limpayan and the Monuvu tribe. A spotlight artifact is the wedding garments used in such celebrations. I extend our warmest greeting to Princess Bay Limpayan, to Datu Ramil Lipatuan, and their extended tribal group and families. Congratulations on preserving the customs and traditions of the Monuvu tribe, which is a shining light for the citizens of our beloved mother country, the Philippines. In this vein, may I also extend to all of you my warmest felicitation to the joyous celebration of our Independence Day again this coming June 12, 2020. Mabuhay po sa inyong lahat, and please stay safe.
O di ba ang ganda? Wasn't that beautiful? How can you not fall in love with the Philippines? It's so rich, highly diversified in culture, however, still unified as a Filipino nation. We're not done yet. That was just the tip of the iceberg. And I'd like to share with you a gift at this point in time, very dear to my heart. A talented lawyer in the Philippines, who happens to be my baby brother, will serenade you with his rendition of Bayan Ko, From His Home to Yours. Take it away, Butch.
Ang bayan kong Pilipinas, lupain ng ginto't bulaklak, pag-ibigang sa kanyang palad, nag-alay ng ganda't dilag, at sa kanyang yumi at ganda, dayuhan ay nahalina. Bayan ko, binihag ka, nasadlak sa dusa. Ibon man may layang lumipad, kulungin mo at umiyak. Bayan pa kayang sakdal dilag, ang di magnasang makalpas. Pilipinas kong minumutya, pugad ng luha ko't dalita. Aking adhika, makita kang sakdal, layan. Bayan pa kayang sakdal dilag, ang di magnasang makalpas. Pilipinas kong minumutya, pugad ng luha ko't dalita. Aking adhika, makita kang sakdal, layan. Aking adhika, makita kang sakdal, layan.
Sandali lang, huwag kayong umalis. Don't go away because we have so much in store for you in the second half. Meanwhile, why don't you refill your glass with your favorite drink? Call a friend or a kababayan to watch it with us. It's going to be beautiful. I'll see you in a few. trust that you have your favorite drink with you, as we have. But before anything else, I'd like to introduce to you my co-host, fellow board member Arjo Turner, with us in a beautiful attire from the Blaan indigenous peoples.
Yes, Isa. And you know what? We had it on display at the Fernbach Museum for our first engagement of the reflections of culture. And this, what I have on, are the works of Manilipan ng Bayan by Yabing Masanondulo for her Blaan tabi, our traditional textile, our Blaan blouse, the bone sif. This is like beads. And it's all handmade. And it's also another done by another cultural artist, which is from the Blaan Indigenous Peoples Group. So that exhibition actually triggered for us to have another Indigenous Peoples Group that is now being engaged on exhibition at the Philippine Museum. Isn't that amazing? We are engaged, we felt part of it.
Exactly. It's so beautiful. I was just looking at your headdress, and I remember, I'm wearing a top belonging to the Obo Manuvu
Yes.
indigenous peoples group.
Yes.
And this is what they call umpak. It's a wedding attire, which is called osaa. But anyway, it's a very colorful blouse, and they're very symbolic of things like, for instance, yellow actually symbolizes light from the sun and moon coming from their creator.
Yes.
And this intricate embellishments actually represent mountain ranges.
Yes.
So with the beadwork, it symbolizes their attachment to sophistication, and noble ancestry.
And you're blessed to have that done by the IP group themselves in North Cotabato through the kindness of Bailin Payansin.
I
I'm
sure
so
am.
blessed. And it is all part about trying to raise awareness on our different indigenous peoples' cultures of the Philippines to teach our younger generations.
That's correct. And talking about generations, we do have some cutie pie guests, right? So why don't we welcome them, the two cutie pies? Come on over. Here they are. And what do you do? Oh, you raised them well. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Have a seat here. Okay, these are actually Arjo Turner's kids.
Yes.
And I'm going to try to speak to them, in English. No, I'm sorry, in Tagalog. I'm going to ask them for their names. Ano ang pangalan mo? What is your name? Okay, very good. Ano ang pangalan mo? Wonderful. And look at them. They're in Blaan attires too, Arjo, right?
Yes, done by different old folks in the Philippines, but very much representative of the Blaan embroidery. Yeah, and this particular skirt is of the Maguindanon. That is like one of the Muslim groups of the Philippines, because of all of this cultural diversity that we have, and the intermarriages and the barter trading, the cultural influence being showcased in the cultural materials that we also wear. Awesome. But this is the most traditional one that is really a Blaan identity for the skirt. But if you don't have this, because it is very rare, you can use this as an alternative.
Beautiful.
Yeah, commonly known as like malong among the Cebuano and Visayan, but in Blaan we call this ginto. So yeah, so that's so very similar.
Kids, well, look at them. See, they're showcasing their costumes. Why don't you give us a turn, Emmanuel? Very good, congratulations. Now, for the sake of our viewers, before you leave us, why don't you say thank you very much to our viewers? How do you say that?
In Filipino.
Maraming salamat, Pilipinas.
Wow, very good. Thank you so much. We
Maraming
love
salamat.
you. Bye now. Weren't they cute? They were just lovely, okay?
Trying to do our best. It should be part of their lifestyle. And they're growing up really like Americans, but they're very diverse. On my end, on my side alone, it's so diverse because I'm so much mixed of my culture, but I wanted them to treasure the part of the culture that I know and I dear so much to me, and they're loving it.
Beautiful. Arjo, let's talk about, for the sake of our viewers, what is in store for them in this, second half. I think we'd like to showcase the ongoing exhibit, at the
Yes.
Reflections of Culture at Fernbank Museum of Natural History. This started last year. And ongoing until next year. So we are showcasing the exhibits of the wedding garments
Yes.
belonging to the Obo Manuvu.
Yes.
And did you know that June is a favorite month for weddings?
Yes, in the Philippines, that is indeed very, very true, and it's just so timely. So it's kind of like double celebration of sharing parts of our culture in June and celebrating our independence too for June.
What is more interesting about our show is that they would see a different side, of our culture.
Yes.
And the traditional attires, wedding attires,
Yes.
and everything about how they, how the wedding ceremony
Yes.
is done.
The traditional way.
Yes, the
With all of
traditional
the-
Obo Manuvu
yes,
way.
Yes.
So we're taking them to Mindanao again, to Kirapawan.
Kinapawan, North Cotabato, Region 12.
The
Yes.
site of the wedding ceremony of
Bayi
Bayi
Limpayan
Limpayan.
Sibuglas and Dato Lipatuan.
Yes.
Ramilio Las, and we are so honored for the Galing Foundation to have partnership with them and sharing their culture, and because they were inspired with what we started with the Blonde Indigenous People's culture.
Right.
So we are engaging people. Everybody's engaged in this, and we are an avenue. We are an
And in
avenue.
fact, Bayi Limpayan's designer will also describe to us, in their native language, what the whole wedding attire represents.
Wow.
So it would really be interesting to see that. And from Kidapawan, we take our viewers back to Atlanta, Georgia, to Fernbank Museum, right at the site of the Reflections of Culture exhibit. And our curator, Bobby Homan, with whom we have had a partnership for 10 years now.
Yes, 10 years.
And
now.
ongoing, a very strong collaboration, will show us around the exhibit and what Fernbank is all about.
Yes.
So,
I'm
I'm so excited. But before that, there's just so much, So I think everybody's ready with their drink. So why don't we start with, toasting again? The Philippines, mabuhay,
Mabuhay.
ang Pilipinas, and enjoy the show, everyone.
Hello, my name is Bobby Homan. I'm a curator and Vice President of Programming and Collections at Fernbank Museum of Natural History in Atlanta, Georgia. I want to welcome you to the museum today and tell you a little bit about our ongoing collaboration with the Galing Foundation and the Honorary Consul here in Atlanta. We've had a relationship for about 10 years now, and it first started with our first annual holiday exhibition, Winter Wonderland, Celebrations and Traditions Around the World, where we showcase events, holidays, traditions, and material culture from cultures around the globe. Our partnership has expanded over the years, which has been wonderful for us. And most recently, we have worked with the Galing Foundation to secure object loans for one of our permanent exhibitions. The Reflections of Culture exhibition here at Fernbank explores how people around the world use personal adornment to communicate information about themselves. So whether it's clothing, jewelry, or forms of body modification like tattooing or even body shaping, we can communicate information without ever saying a word. We can communicate information about our group membership, we can communicate about our status in society, or even our beliefs. The objects that we have on display from the Philippines currently are on loan from Monuvu Princess, then Payan, who so graciously allowed us to put her objects on display. And we're so thankful to the Galing Foundation for helping make that connection for Fernbay. These garments were worn on her wedding day, so they are her bridal attire. And the unique design tell us that she belongs to this Monuvu indigenous group. The colors and also some of the patterns have a lot of symbolism that are specific and unique to this particular group.
Jen nga ni akaron ako ni tanan ang nag-design ni ani ang nagtrabaho ni ani sukat atong dalaga pa siya nya hantud nagkasal siya minyo na siya o kining mga magpuma tanaw ninyo ang geometrical designs lahi ni square ni napoy mga triangle kay mauni ang mga original yun na mga design sa mga Monuvu o sa Sawawa. Mauni na makita nino bisan pa sa mga design sa mga ining mga beads. Naghihapon makita hapon ang mga geometrical designs na square, triangle, diamond, tanan makita na to nga bisan sa mga kining mga sunday nagyapoy design kay tungod kay ang mga atong mga kabulangan naagyod gyapon nga ang ilahang pagka artistic. Salamat maraming siguro anak.
I hope you enjoyed your tour of the Reflections of Culture exhibit here at Fernbay Museum. On behalf of the museum, we would like to really say a big thank you to the Galing Foundation and Honorary Consul Ray Donato, who have worked with over the last 10 years on ongoing collaborations. We really appreciate the support of Fernbay's mission and our ongoing cultural initiatives. And I do hope that everybody who's watching today has a wonderful Independence Day, and maybe we'll see you at Fernbay soon. Bye!
Sidinab idas mamarat ka pakapariw idas taban ka chalingaho kay tapuasawan.
Kaharo ako'y pakiyab niya si Dinang, idas langot, kakiyab kahit paspat sa manok, idas tabangkat sa linggahaw, na dumang kahit mga minubo, na wala sa linggahaw, na pakain makay kung lahaw ruwan, idas sa tabangkat, ang kakiyab kahit paspat sa manok. Pero si pakiyab kumanda, is paspat sa manok, ipong niya si talak. So, kung sa talak na matatalo, kaya da ka namin bayi, di tanuran, tadadohangan na karang, tanuran, tadadohangan na karang, tapasamugay, dohangan na karang, husay, tatatlago na pungan, at tanuran si Gandhi, tahabika, abika, at mga mabibigkait mga dati. Abikalon, si para kabika, mga makakabakanta, mga bibig na mga datu, tadadak mga problema kahit Mindanao. Bakiyab ko po, diyo siya talak na matanalo. Si Kanda dalang kahit
Okay. Iya. So, ini, mitipya mo ni Sakkan, na doon pa sa nalingawan. So, ini, para ka po ipagkairindan at katungod, ikanapin, na adawan sa pa na, para, awan ta, aoy. Na ini, ang kakitata ka po, si Kanda na pinawanay, na dasbalyag, at simbagkan Kanda na pumwasairan.
Ararayman Mario.
Nga nakita raw, sukuwang ka sa bay, sa sidato, suara napirin dan. Si komandada to sukuwiyo ka sa bay. Inanagdaman na tuhonan. Akan na napasungitiran. Ano ba? Bobo? Hindi ba? Ang padungkog ang kurba, ilero sa kat, nagkatapusan ang proseso at kitang kagkasal. Bayan tan. Bulan.
Sakkat pa.
Kamunat ka! Kasay kuret langut mga dato, ingkang paman. Witness ko, amokaw ni sa taman na nakatanong ko, nakapanong ko. Hindi sa araw na lawat minubo. Si Boy hasta si dato. Ipot sakat na kongkay na sayo kuret kaniyo. To sa waran da chipang sa kapatayan.
Hi everyone, my name is Tony Dia Lutgers, Executive Director of Galing Foundation, Incorporated. While COVID-19 pandemic has certainly created a lot of disruption in our lives, we at Galing Foundation are resolved to celebrate and reflect on the meaning of Philippine independence and who we are as a people. On behalf of Galing Foundation, we hope that this presentation of threads and beads, culture and traditions of the Obo Manuvu indigenous people have taken you to the roots and the heart of the Filipino people. We also hope that you have gained a better understanding and renewed appreciation for one of our indigenous groups in the Philippines. And altogether, we honor them and thank them for being the stewards of the environment. To our friends and family, we thank you for joining us in this wonderful series, and we hope to lean on your support so that together we continue our journey to stand alongside with our Filipino brothers and sisters from various indigenous groups of the Philippines to discover the threads and beads that unites us as a people. In the following years, Galing Foundation, in partnership with Fernbank Museum of Natural History in Atlanta, will continue to feature various Philippine indigenous groups, as we have done with the Obo Manuvu and the Blaans. At GFI, our mission is to serve as partner in building a legacy of hope in transforming a new generation through the power of literacy and by sharing God's love to all people. I'm extremely honored and grateful to our partners, Ambassador Jose G. Romualdez and Consul Daryl Artades of the Philippine Embassy in Washington, Raul Donato, the Philippine Honorary Consul General in Atlanta, Commissioner by Limpayen Sibuglas, Philippine National Commission for Indigenous People, Dr. Bobby Homan of Fernbank Museum of Natural History in Atlanta, our guest performers Mayet Bayani, Attorney Butch San Juan, Jonathan Badon, GFI Board and Reflections of Culture Committee, and our executive producer, Isa Thompson, and all the many hands and talents who have worked very hard and have made this production possible. Marami pong salamat and happy 122nd year of Philippine independence. Mabuhay po kayong lahat, and please stay safe. We'll see you again. Thank you.
So what did you think of that, Arjo?
That was fabulous, so enriching, so much to learn. And as a Mindanaoan, I'm so proud that we'll be able to celebrate this part of the culture. There's so many indigenous people's culture in the Philippines, but we can celebrate one at a time. So
Excellent.
What a perfect timing in celebration of our independence and our being Filipino.
I was speechless, watching the whole wedding ceremony because everything was new to me. Everything was just...
That is like, it is not only celebrating the groom and the bride, but it is also the coming of the community. And it is the celebration of this culture and recognizing that we can be modern as indigenous peoples, but still we can be culturally grounded. And this video just showed us that. It's the modern and the traditional, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, everything was just like sophisticated, like, just a hint of noble ancestry.
Yes.
But, like I said, I was speechless, but I wasn't drinkless. I was enjoying it with my drink. But did you know that, we're still on exhibit. That particular wedding garment, is still an exhibit at Fernbank.
Yes.
And at the exhibit would be the male attire now, the male version of the wedding attire. And it is being shown. Is it open already? Is Fernbank open? I think they are,
yes,
right?
They are, but we just have to be mindful of social distancing or whatever rules that Fernbank Museum would have for everyone. But this Obo Manuvu exhibition will be until 2021, and this June will be the male.
Okay, so don't wait, bring a friend, go over to Fernbank, catch up with their Reflections of Culture exhibit.
Yes.
But I'm just ready. I mean, I could go on and sit, and just enjoy a whole new show again. But we have something special again, right, to share with our viewers.
Right, and it is about sharing the beauty of the Philippines, the people, the culture, and the amazing places that people from all over the world would wanted to spend some time in the Philippines. And in this rendition, it's just an amazing showcase at the same time.
In celebration of 122 years of Philippine independence, I'd like to propose another toast to our beloved country. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas. Grab your drink, whether it's going to be tuba or lambanog or something else, rosé or red wine, Pinot Grigio. Let's celebrate the Philippines for many, many more years of Philippine independence.
And enjoy the music and the rendition of Jonathan Badon.
Take it away, Jonathan.
Hi everyone! Cheers and mabuhay from the beautiful islands of the Philippines. My name is Jonathan Badon. I'm a pop opera artist, and I'd like to greet all of you a happy Independence Day. Indeed, this day is very special in our history as a Filipino. And also I'd like to say hi to our brothers and sisters in Mindanao, the Monuvu tribe. The Philippines will always be proud of you for your great contributions in our culture and heritage. To the Filipino associations in the United States, Canada, Europe, Australia, Middle East, Asia, Africa, everywhere, mabuhay kayong lahat. Mabuhay ang ating kalayaan. Of course, I'd like to thank Galing Foundation Incorporated, especially to Director for Culture and Arts, Madam Isa Thompson. Thank you so much for choosing my song to be a part of this momentous project, and for allowing me to share the beauty of music and the joy of singing for all of you. Once again, to my fellow kababayans, you might be living so far from your motherland. You might be working just to sustain the needs of your family. But I tell you, wherever you are, whatever you do, the true spirit of being a Filipino will always be in your heart. And having a Filipino blood is something that we can all be proud of. As a humble tribute to our motherland, the Philippines, here is my composition, Dugong Pilipino, and I dedicate this song to all freedom-loving Filipinos. Mabuhay ang ating kalayaan. God bless the Philippines.
Natanaw sa kalawakan, perla sa dulong silangan, kagandahay nababanag, bansang may paninindigan, lakas ng iyong damdamit isipan, kayamanan ng iyong kalikasan, liwanag ng iyong katalinuhan, tagumpay ang dala sa pagkakaisa. Sa takot ay di pa rin susuko. Sabay-sabay sa pagbangon, sama-sama sa pag-asa, pagkat ikaw ay dugong Pilipino. Sa ihip ng hangin, huwag padadala, sa dakilang mithiin, ika'y sumama. Supilin ang apoy habang maaga, lukuban ng tubig na may pag-ibig, pagsikat ng araw sa dakong silangan, sa lupang ito'y laging manawagan, sa Diyos at sa bayan taglay ang pag-asa, sa harap ng lahat bagong Pilipinas. Ikaw ay dugong Pilipino, sa takot ay di pa rin susuko. Sabay-sabay sa pagbangon, sama-sama sa pag-asa, pagkat ikaw ay dugong Pilipino. Ikaw ay dugong Pilipino, sa takot ay di pa rin susuko. Sabay-sabay sa pagbangon, sama-sama sa pag-asa, pagkat ikaw at ako'y dugong Pilipino.
That concludes our presentation of threads and beads, cultures and traditions of the Obo Manuvu indigenous peoples group in southern Philippines. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I thank you so much for staying with us. On behalf of Galing Foundation, I appeal to your generosity to support our evolving and ongoing arts and culture program in support of shows like this, highlighting our culture. I thank you, our viewers, for staying with us, especially our collaborators in producing this show. This is just going to be a first of series of shows in the future. Mabuhay po kayong lahat. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas.